Awesome. Cool. So yeah, to give you context about us, so we run a Facebook advertising company, and our focus in the past has been on insurance agents, and we do high level, we do appointment setting, all the fun stuff in between. We've actually decided to go a different direction in terms of industry.
Okay.
And I've been talking with Larry Hickman, known him for about a year now, and he convinced me that water restoration was a decent niche to go after.
It is.
And obviously go in that direction takes us away from Facebook as a primary source. So he mentioned that he was sourcing to you, and he recommended that we get on a call and have a conversation to see how that would look. And yeah, just to give you context on Tyler and Elijah. So Tyler's currently he's doing the Facebook media buying. He's going to be doing some of the Google ads on that end.
Okay.
Elijah's the account manager, CSM. He manages all the client communications. I wanted him on to be able to see everything, because they would be involved in the day-to-day if there was a good combination here that would work. So I just wanted them to be here and listen in on it. And yeah, I'd love to see what you have. And if you can give me details on what Larry's given me pretty much everything he's doing. But he said to talk to you about the more details on how you interact with him and all that. So love to hear what you got.
Cool. I guess I'll just share my screen and just show you guys a few things here real quick. So stand by here. And you should be seeing my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So as you go, have you made this decision? It's final. You're going into the water damage, fire damage restoration niche.
Yeah, we're going to be, the next 3 months, we'll be pushing really hard into this industry and getting everything built out. Larry's given us a lot of stuff. So for the purpose of this, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, so this one slide really should resonate with you regarding niche for sure, and with the prospects, the clients. You can build an amazing Google ads campaign that just fires on all cylinders, has a high quality score. You're just hitting it on all cylinders, and at best you're going to get about 20% of the market, at best. Why? Especially for water damage, fire damage restoration, people do that search in their phone. It's usually quick because they come home to, a mess or a fire just happened or whatever, and they get on their phone and they're doing a mobile search, and that mobile 3-pack is number one. And so one or all three of these companies are going to get a phone call. Typically the one that has the best reviews. If there's a difference, we'll win. If all are 5-star, then oftentimes it's just he who answers the phone at that point is going to get the deal. So having high level married to a really good SEO campaign is going to be the winner for your prospects and clients. And so we nail that all day long. It's so right in our sweet spot. We do really, really good at Google ad campaigns as well. So I have a really good team for that. And then our SEO, you've heard of that. So, we know we do a really good job there. Basically where that, kind of how that marries up directly into our site is, and to get into our ecosystem, quite simply, you need to go to our website, hover over White Label Solutions, figure out what you want or need. Once you learn this, it'll be simple. You come here, you'll go, all right, I want a mid-level campaign. I want Signal Boost as the add-on, and you'll hit sign up now, and it'll add it to your cart, and you'll go ahead and check out. You'll check out and pay literally right here on this screen. And as soon as you pay, you're going to get an order number from our system, on the next screen. You'll copy that order number, and then you'll come over here to forms, and you'll go to white label onboarding form, white label SEO, onboarding form. Just pick on your first time. You'll say, I don't have one assigned yet for account manager. And then there's that order number. You put that order number right here, whatever it is, and your agency information here. And then when you get next, the rest of the form, steps 2, 3, and 4 are all the information about your client and the new campaign that you want us to launch for you. That's it. Once you submit the form, you're done. It's that 1-2 step process. Check out and pay for whatever you need to order, then go fill out the right order form or forms if you've ordered more than one thing. And as soon as we have both of those from you, you're done. You can go back and go get your next sale. We'll pick up from there and do everything else and communicate with Elijah or whoever else on your team, regarding, and that information should be put right here, because then we're going to send that person an email. So what happens is once we get this form submission, we marry up the order with the form, and then our account management team will go and build that entire project in our system here, our project management system. And so they'll come in there, they'll add a new project, they'll build out the project based on what was just ordered, typically like say SEO and a PPC campaign. As soon as they've got that project built and assigned to our team members, they will then send an email to you saying, hey, we've got, XYZ campaign. We're all set. We're off to the races, and setup will begin, if not that week, the following week. Our team meets every single Monday, and they go through all new orders from the previous week, and make sure that all new orders, are plugged into our system and off to the races. We have, setup is not we have this entirely, systemized in terms of task list for PPC, task list for the SEO, task list for not just for SEO, but what things are task lists for setup and what task lists are for the ongoing recurring things that we do as part of, these campaigns. So obviously for both SEO and PPC, there's some things that we do in that first month to get everything set up and launched. And then there's a set of things that we do on a recurring basis to manage, maintain, optimize that campaign. With the SEO, every single month we're producing new content, one or more articles. So I'll go through that real quick. These SEO campaigns are going to be the exact same setup in month one. We do all the same things in month one from a setup standpoint, regardless of whether it's the entry level, the mid level, or advanced level. What we do differently starts in month two. We do 1 unique article per month in entry, 3 unique articles per month in mid-level, and 5 unique articles per month in advanced. With each article that we write each month, there's a whole task list of things that are done with that article to syndicate it, distribute it, build links with it, create ranking signals with it. So each article, each month that we write, so depending on what campaign you're in, you'll get 1 or 3 or 5 articles sent to you, or maybe to Elijah. And then as soon as Elijah can send off those articles directly to the client and say, here are your, articles for approval for this month, Mr. or Mrs. Client. And those are all going to be in a Google Doc. So you'll just pass on the URLs like we pass on to you. You and or the client can directly edit the doc if they want to make any minor changes. If there's any major changes that you want done, all you got to do is just send those back. That's rare. Usually it's usually we just get approved. That's kind of the standard answer. But if we have to do any revisions on our side, you just let us know with that request. Or if you have any minor changes that you or the client want to make, you can make those directly in the Google Doc. Those are automatically saved as a new version. So we have version control automatically kind of built in there with Google Docs. And there's no quantum agency anywhere. It's all just a plain doc that you just hand off and get approved. Once those are approved, then the process of what we do with those articles, begins. And that's typically about a 2 to 3 week process. When you click into any of these, whether it's entry, mid, or advanced, if you scroll down, there's a lot of detail here that you can use directly in your estimates, your proposals, whatever you want to do. So feel free to just copy and paste whatever you want from our website in terms of, any of these things that you're just going to pick up and resell. Highly recommend you just learn how to sell this, because these things work. It's proven. That way you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and all you have to do is just basically translate it into your own branding and your own estimates, and or invoicing, and then off you go. I do recommend that you add the Signal Boost add-on to the SEO campaigns. I'm going to be making these just permanent and build it into our pricing. Up till now, we've left it optional, and so right now they're still optional. But highly recommend that you just sell it and price it accordingly with the Signal Boost add-on for whatever level you're going to sell. So if you mid-level becomes 900 instead of 750 per month with Signal Boost, and if we go to the entry level, that becomes 550 per month instead of 500 with Signal Boost. Why? Because each article that we do Signal Boost to is quite a big process, and is pretty pretty effective in helping move the needle. When we are doing it for Larry, he's always getting Signal Boost. So just FYI. And then if you need to add in a PPC campaign, it's pretty simple. You just click on PPC and add it in. You can always add in optional retargeting for the website, or if you want to do Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, you can add those on as well. In your niche, I would probably just do a straight up PPC campaign, because it's going to be, hot leads, people who need somebody now, and probably don't even need retargeting or, these other ones. Maybe YouTube, but I can't imagine many people going to YouTube and trying to do a DIY restoration on a fire or a massive flood. So I think PPC straight up is probably your ticket. And so if you have a company that wants SEO and PPC, all you got to do is just add the SEO campaign to your account, or to your cart that you want or that they've purchased, and then come over here to PPC, click on there, and just click on sign up now there. And then that'll also add it to your cart, and off you go. So you'll know that you'll have $2,400 in month one for the setup and month one fees, and then $1,400 per month in recurring in months 2 and beyond. And likely you've probably charged $5,000 in setup for the month one fees, and whatever, $2,750 to $3,000, something like that. For all of our prices should be at least 100% marked up. So you'll have at least 100% gross margin at a minimum. Net margins is how much do you need to pay to service this with an account management team? Probably not much. Your net margins should be higher than 70%. Or at least at 70% or higher. And your gross margins can be more than 100%, because in some markets these can be more than 100%. Especially in your higher, like California and New York, those where you have higher prices across the board on everything, you can actually more than 100% our fees. So I'll stop there and see if you guys have any questions.
So many. Yeah, this is great. Thanks for this walkthrough. Can we zoom back out for a second? Can you walk me through, I guess, two questions that come top of mind. First one is, so for SEO, I understand that keywords and phrases and all that stuff is important. How does your onboarding process when it comes to that? Because this sounds pretty productized, which is cool, but also how do you customize it depending on the industry and all that stuff?
The process is the same regardless of the industry. SEO doesn't change. Google's algorithm doesn't change based on whether it's fire damage and water damage restoration or a chiropractor, right? The algorithm is the same. So our process to rank something is the same. What changes is the target keywords and the content, because those are obviously niche specific to the client. And where we capture all of that intelligence, at least to start with, is right here in this form. So if we just put this in here with dummy information, the next steps of this form 2, 3, and 4 are your client's company name, their business address, date company was founded, website, any PR contact that they might want or have, a GMB listing link, all the information that we're going to need to make sure that we get all the right information to their GMB listing if it's not already, and then we fully optimize all of that from there. Let me just dummy info. You can do this yourself too with dummy info. You'll see not everything is required, but obviously we want a fully completed form. Okay, that needs to be done there. Okay. See.
Probably street address and city. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
city.
I put city and zip code.
There was a checkbox at the bottom too. Visa, MasterCard. Yeah.
Oh. All right, so this is kind of where the guts is here. You know, primary objective of the campaign, description of the business. Some of this you can just copy and paste directly from their website if it's already done or done well. But you know, top 10 keywords that you think people will be searching for. We're going to take this list and do our own keyword research in the first month. Obviously, if it's the same niche like water damage restoration, we're going to take what you give us and then we're going to match it up with what we know as well. But you know, water damage restoration is the #1 keyword, right? In that niche. But you know, water damage repair, you know, so on and so forth, all those. So you can put in your top 10 here and you can ask that from the client if you want. All of this is intel that we use to populate the GMB listing with more information. Obviously, we're asking you for topical content ideas and themes. And so if you have a client that, you know, wants to have more input in terms of their monthly content and what's in it or what it's about, then that's fine. We'll gladly take a content planner, you know, or topical ideas and themes. And if they have like certain months that they want this done or that done, then all we need to do is just know that ahead of time. You know, in December, let's do more of this, a holiday themed, you know, whatever, you know, or, you know, if they have a month where they want to focus on a certain something, you know, whatever it might be, then we just need to know that so we can plan that ahead of time. And so that's how we get the intel from you on what to do in terms of launching the campaign. Make sense?
Yeah, I do. It does. So, okay. So articles, they get approved by the client. Does that end up going on their website? Does that go somewhere else? Like, where does that end up?
Both. It goes a lot of places. Goes to their website first for authorship, credit, and canonicalization. And then after that, and it goes, and in that sense, it's going to go right like directly to their media room. So we will deploy a media room to the client's website in the first month. That's part of the first month setup. Once the media room is deployed, this is being run by our software. Once the media room is deployed, then the media room receives the article first every single month once it's actually published, which is after the approval process.
Got it. Okay.
Obviously, from there, it's going to go out to a lot of places, notwithstanding, you know, our network of news sites through our own software, Signal Genesis, you know, so it gets out on a network of live news sites. Those are always linked in the news section, like you just saw me, you know, you can expand that. So this will be live in every single campaign. So the target media room is set up on the website. Then when the article marketing starts in month 2, the in the news section will populate about 3 to 4 days after we've published the article to the media room. And that will then show, you know, a sample of sites that it's gone out to, which is a part of the overall network of sites that the article will go to.
Okay.
We're not going to give the client every single place that the article has been published to. We're also going to spin this article 2 times and send out the spun versions to a tier 2 and tier 3 network of literally thousands of other blogging platforms, blogging sites and accounts. And then we're going to also do some CTR manipulation each month on some of these. We're going to send some of these press releases into the Google site and Google Stack that we build out in month 1. That's also part of the month 1, you know, build in terms of white label SEO. Also, what I'll do here is let me send this to you guys here. This gives you a little bit more detail in terms of what we do in month 1 and month 2 and beyond. I wouldn't give this to a client or a prospect, but you can use it to be able to inform, educate the prospects and clients a little bit more about what we do. I give you more about the tasks here and even some explanations of what that actually is doing.
Okay.
Let me share this with you in the chat so you guys can grab this. Also, let me grab this as well. This slide deck can be, just make a copy, just go to file, make a copy for yourself, and then you can just add your logo in and all that, and use this to sell both, your PPC and your SEO. This, all you gotta do is just take out this first slide here, drop in your logo and stuff here, and you can change the branding up too if you want, but and then use the rest of this to really sell SEO and PPC. I would always sell SEO and PPC together. The other thing that oftentimes is needed, which Larry does offer as well, is a new website and hosting. Oftentimes these companies need a new website. Their website sucks, or they don't have one. They're a new company, or they just started a year ago and they just, not technical, whatever the case may be. Or it's, they've had a site that's been 5 years old. It sucks. The design's terrible. There's a whole litany of different reasons why a company might need a new website as part of the overall, package. And so we do have, white label websites. And I do have, it's not public here, but I do have a payment plan it's a 4-pay payment plan for a website that I worked out, a kind of a package deal with Larry. So it's 4 payments of $500. It includes the content for, a 5 to 7 to 10 page, it's basically a 5 to 10 page website, depending on who they are, what they have, and all that. But so we can do that as well if you need to work that into an overall package. Otherwise, you can just come right into our 1-pay options as well. Or if we get to a 10+ page type website, let's say it's an existing company, they have like a 30-page website, but it really stinks. Design's awful. They know they need it. So you say you include it in your proposal. If you want to include that website in your proposal, and it's a larger website, just all you got to do is let me know, send me a message. Hey, I got, a new prospect on the line. We want to include a new website in the proposal. It's a pretty big website that we're trying to replace. I need a quote. I'll go look at it and give you an estimate. Even better if in advance, have talked to them, the prospect, at least once, what they might be looking for in terms of the new website design, because the design is really the big variable. I can have our designing team spend 30 hours in design, and I could have them spend 300 hours in design, and I could have them spend 1,000 hours in design. And we've done all of that in website builds. So that widely varies from client to client. So if you can give me an idea of what they want, or hey, we really love this competitor's website. If we could have our site look kind of like theirs, we would be really thrilled. Great, give me their website link plus the competitors that they like website, and I can give you an estimate within about 48 hours usually, and then you can just mark that up however you see fit and include that in your proposal along with the SEO and the PPC campaigns. Where your packages would come in would be basically, PPC should always be sold second when they have the budget. Why? Because of this, and this is fact. If they only do PPC, they're going to be missing out on 70 to 90%, maybe as much as 100% of the market. You got to be here. This is where the leads are coming from, the majority of them. If you want to give them that $200,000 month ROI on their, $5,000 month spend with you, then you've got to be here. And that's where everything flipped for Larry in that niche. Because before he was only doing PPC, and it was just like he was losing clients. There was no growth. There wasn't much on the bone. There's not much on for PPC, and you're a commodity. And ultimately, even if you do an amazing job and just knock it out of the park on that PPC campaign, the client's still going like, man, nothing is really fundamentally that great or different in our business. Because if they go from one PPC vendor to the next, the numbers don't change a whole lot, even if you do shitty or you do amazing. Where the numbers really change is right here in Google Maps.
So the articles, if they're going to the media room, like you're talking about, how does that push up the Google Maps? Like, where's the connection there to say this is more prominent?
Well, there's lots of connections, but so if we go here to this slide deck here, so to rank in that map pack, that local pack, we need to generate a holistic set of signals around that entity and its related GMB listing and its related website. So brand related signals or entity level signals that are categorized or fall into the following categories. There's lots of subcategories here that result in over 200 data points, but major categories are the GMB listing ecosystem unto itself. So GMB signals, I'll show you what you're asking for there in a second. Review signals, on-page signals, link signals, behavioral citation signals. Social signals actually are still relevant and important too, mostly because GMB is like the GMB listing is still like a quasi-social account with GMB posting. So when you go to the media room here, number one, you're going to see a GMB map here that's directly integrated into that Google listing. This is not coming from embed code. This is from a direct Google Map API integration. This is a map API call that displays this map here. What is that? That is a GMB signal and a very powerful one. Map API signals are way more powerful than, say, just a link signal to a GMB listing. So there's multiple map API calls happening in each PR. At the very bottom, there's another GMB map here. And we're going to also be putting links and other signals to that GMB listing within our article itself. So this image is being called from a GMB post. So if I go out to the Quantum Agency GMB listing, you're going to see these images that are in our posts. And if I right click on one of those images, you'll see copy image address. And that image is being called from one of our previous GMB posts. Okay. So what's happening here? We're generating an image signal. Image signals are do follow links because they're a link to an image and they're always do follow. And it's a do follow image signal to a GMB listing, vis-a-vis the GMB post. We can also throw links in here to, usually there's going to be a link. So here it is. If I open that up in a new tab, you'll see that link is going to the GMB listing as well. Again, what are we doing with all these different things? We're generating different GMB signals all within one article of content. And then when we hit the publish button, we 50x that content out to a live network of news sites, which are way better than your average guest post blogging site. And again, on every live news site, radio station site, media site, there's a live map API call happening, and those same links and images are also appearing on these sites as well. And so, in answer to your question, how is this relating? Because within our content and within our execution and within our media room, there are multiple map API calls, links, and images that are all relating back to that GMB listing, which is what's boosting it in the map pack.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You mentioned Signal Genesis a couple times. What is that?
That's our software that's running, some of the overall SEO campaign.
Okay.
So we use Signal Genesis in our SEO campaigns. Signal Genesis is a separate software system that agencies can get on their own. If you were going to do SEO on your own, then you could use Signal Genesis, but then we're not going to be doing any of the writing, the strategy, the research, the setup, and none of that. It's all on you to do all of that. You're using our software to generate some of the ranking signals that are responsible for part of what's in our full service SEO campaigns. So Signal Genesis is a self-serve software system to help with SEO, streamline and power up SEO campaigns, but it's by no means the full service that we offer on the white label side.
Gotcha. Do you know what Larry does?
Larry orders from Quantum Agency.
Gotcha.
We give him his own Signal Genesis account as part of that, and then all of the articles and client work that we do for him is inside his Signal Genesis account. So he got his own. He bought his own Signal Genesis account a while back. And so we work inside his Signal Genesis account, but we do all the work. We do all the writing, the strategy, the research, the approval process every single month. And we do more than just writing content. When we launch any one of these campaigns, they're also getting a monthly Yext subscription, a monthly data aggregator subscription for really authoritative citation signals and listing signals. There's a reporting dashboard that's part of all this. There's a reputation management reporting dashboard that's part of this for review signals. Even though we can't generate new reviews for the client, you can't do it for them. We still want to report on it and then emphasize how important it is for them to get new reviews. And if you're using GHL, you can use GHL as part of that overall process to help them get new reviews. So that's an easy integration because GHL has the ability to send out review requests on behalf of your client. So I know you guys use GHL, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
yep.
So anyway, yeah. So all of those things are included when you do a full service white label campaign with us. If you were going to do it all on your own, then you could use that Signal Genesis. But none of that's included in Signal Genesis either.
Okay. Gotcha. I think that was all the questions that I had. I'd love to open it up for Elijah or Tyler if they have any questions.
Sure.
Nothing on my end from the high level, I don't believe.
Okay.
I'm good also.
Okay. So, maybe to sum it up then, for you guys to simply package this up is pretty simple. Our mid-level, I'll just say this, our mid-level is our most frequently sold campaign because it addresses the majority of scenarios out there and still pretty affordable at if you do it with Signal Boost, again, it's $900 a month. And if you did that plus a PPC campaign, you're paying us $1,400 a month. And that can easily be sold for $300 to $3,500 a month. And then they're getting plus their ad spend. So ad spend is plus, right? So maybe they spend $1,500 to $2,500 a month in ad spend. They're at $5,000 to $6,000 a month in total spend. All they need is one new client a month to pay for that. If you get them 2 clients a month from that, which you will, now they're just winning. And 3 is winning more and 4 is winning more. And Larry can share with you, how that happens, when you're, once you get this going. It's important when you're selling the SEO component of this, that they understand it's going to take 3 to 6 months of lead time for what we're doing in SEO to have its effect and for us to push them from wherever they're at to page 1, because we can push them from page 15 to page 10 to page 5 to page 2, all in the first 3 to 4 months, and they're not going to really notice any big difference in their inbound call volume, right? Because they're still on page 2 for those keywords, right? And you're not making money in this more businesses area, which is page 2. You're just, you're not making money down here. So we have to take them from wherever they're at today and get them all the way to page 1 for them to start to really see that huge boost in call volume, which comes from hitting page 1, here. So PPC campaign, we can get them up here pretty quickly, but if they don't have the budget of 5 to 6K a month, then they should not be doing PPC. They should be investing in SEO only. And that's going to take 3 to 6 months, sometimes even longer. So you should be selling them on 6 to 12 months as an expectation to start to see the ROI. Don't even expect to start to see the ROI coming back to you until 6 to 12 months, Mr. Prospect. Okay. This is an investment. No one sits down and does a 3-month marketing plan. You do 1, 3, and 5-year marketing plans. And then once you have a solid strategy and plan, you execute month after month after month, and you start to see the investment come back in that monthly execution in 6 to 12 months. Okay. Now, sometimes we'll see them get results in the first month or 2. And that's a big, big win. And that's now you've just way over delivered, right? And they're happy as peach pie. And we're going to be able to show them results and movement in those first 3 to 6 months. But the big, the big shift in their business where their inbound call volumes and their new leads and their new jobs or projects start to really shoot up is after month 6. Okay. And if you sell them on that expectation, you'll have a happy customer. If they're expecting immediate results today, then I would just say, look, you're not a good fit. Like no one that comes to talk to you, Mr. Prospect, that has any credibility in this business and has any experience is going to say you're going to get a bunch of new leads starting in month 1. Even if we do a PPC campaign, it still takes 30 to 90 days for the algorithm and machine learning to really optimize that campaign once it starts to learn with conversion tracking in place, right? So even on a PPC campaign, we still need 60 to 90 days to start to see really good results. From an SEO standpoint, it's 6 to 12 months. From a PPC campaign, it's around 3 months. So they have to know that and be expecting that. And if you sell it that way, then you'll have much lower churn and attrition. You'll have happier customers. We'll be able to show them the improvements and the wins before those 3 to 6 months. But the big wins for them when they start really seeing their lead and project volume go up or close volume go up is, going to be more closer to 6 months.
Gotcha.
But now Larry has clients that are doing like 200K a month off of their 5K spend. Like that's ridiculous. I mean, now had they given up in month 4 because they weren't there all for a full 6 to 12 months, they wouldn't be seeing that ROI today. So that's just really important to go. So sometimes, and this is actually very effective psychologically in selling, is almost to unsell them, like almost try to push them away and say, you need to have a commitment to this. And if you don't have a commitment to this, then this is not the right thing for you. This is a 12-month strategy all day long. And when our customers stick with us 12 months, they are thrilled. But if you're like going to be one of those guys who's really nervous by month 3 or 4, this is not for you. But you're not going to see the ROI that we're talking about either. So try to unsell them and push them away. And the more you do that, it's almost like the more they want it. But then at the same time, you can always recall them in their memory. If they're in month 4, they're going, hey, James, I know what's going on. We haven't really got a whole bunch of phone calls yet. We're already here in month 4 and we've spent we've spent 20K with you. All right, let's go back to that phone call. You told us that your average client is worth about $7,500 to you net, 15K, 10 to 15K gross. So 10K is, $7,500 per new client that we get you. All you need is 10 clients in a year to get $75,000, right? If you're spending 5K a month with us, that's 60K. But we're not going to necessarily get you those 15 deals or 20 deals until the last part of the year. And if you recall, when we were in our proposal session together, we talked heavily about this being a 6 to 12 month campaign, not a 1 to 4 or 5 month campaign. We're in month 4 and we are seeing great improvement, but the ROI is going to come in the second half of this year. So if you sell it that way and really reinforce it, you'll have low attrition. You'll have that their expectations will be set properly. We'll get them some quick wins here. We usually get faster results than 6 months, but I like to under promise and over deliver with you. And I want to set you guys up to do the same thing with your client.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I think it's fair. Okay. Anything else that you think is worth going over?
Yeah, talking about the media room that's going to be deployed to their website as part of the overall month 1 build in SEO. This is kind of how we talk about and introduce the media room. We talk about how we use digital PR to build their expertise, their authority, and the trust. So EAT is kind of covered in slide 11 here. And, there's parts of the algorithm and that are absolutely looking for signals around EAT. And so we author original content for them every single month. We do it in the form of digital PR, and we're going to deploy a proprietary media room to their website as part of this overall process of using digital PR to build and position them as the expert in their niche or industry and local area, and to build their authority and transfer trust. We use digital PR and news sites to achieve part of this process. And when we deploy this media room to your website as part of this month 1 build, we need you to understand the value of what we're providing you. Media room software is very expensive because it's got a high level of sophistication and technology. And it's got a high perceived value with both Google News and with the general public. There's another vendor that sells their media rooms for $15,000 per year. Just one media room, one company, $15,000 per year. We're going to be including a media room in your campaign, and we'll be deploying it not only to your website, but also off your website as well. And then every single month, we will be publishing and distributing that article that we author for you out as a press release and out to live news sites as well. And again, we're going to be using digital PR and this strategy and process with the media room to build your expertise, your authority, and your trust as an entity, as a company, as a water damage restoration company in the local area. But understand that the value of what we're providing you is significant. Like, other companies are charging a lot of money just for a media room. Forget the articles, forget all the other things that we include and do as part of our web presence campaign or SEO campaign for you. But that's going to be something that you can expect in our month 1 setup process, is that we'll be deploying a very sophisticated proprietary media room to your website. And these things are expensive. You're not going to be paying nearly that price, but we want you to know it's valuable.
So I'm curious, how does this get implemented into the website? Is this only for WordPress sites and it's a WordPress plugin? Is it iframe? What is it?
No, it's a JavaScript HTML code. So here's another website. These can go, the media rooms can go on to a WordPress site, a Doodah site, a Shopify site, a Weebly site, a Wix site. Obviously, if we're doing SEO, we want to be doing SEO in a WordPress site. If they're in a Wix site, you should be including a website, a new website build in the proposal. They may say no, they may not want it. They may just say, we just spent $5,000 paying somebody else to build us this Wix site. I'll just, long sigh, shake my head, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm sorry. We'll maybe then revisit this next year, and then we can do the SEO on their Wix site. Is that optimal? No, and they need to know it. It's not optimal. Wix and Weebly and Shopify are not optimal for SEO. Can we do it? Yes. But if I'm competing against another competitor who's got a WordPress site and they're doing things right on that WordPress site, we are going to be at a disadvantage, and the client or prospect should just know that.
Yeah.
But the media rooms are being deployed through integration code. It's a simple HTML JavaScript code that powers up the media rooms. So
okay.
I can go to several different sites, and you'll see the media rooms are powered up here in this manner.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I think you answered all the questions that I had. This is super helpful. Do you mind sending this recording of today's recording?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I guess I'll just leave you guys with this then. As a recap, the simple and easy way to get into our ecosystem with any new client that you have, once you've sold them on whatever it is that they're going to buy, is then to come to our website and then just add that to your cart, check out and pay. Once you've paid, you're going to get an order number. You'll copy that order number, and then you'll come over here and you'll fill out the appropriate form. If you ever order PPC and SEO together, just fill out the package form, because the package form is built for SEO, PPC, and or social all together. So you can fill out the package form if you order SEO and PPC together in an order for a client. Once you've filled out the form, you're done. We'll have the information we need in that form. You've already paid. We'll cross-check that with the order number, and we'll go out, we'll build out that project, and we will get going on that project and then start communicating with you as to progress. If you have questions, you'll have the account manager and me to send emails to in terms of questions. It will do an onboarding session with you in your first campaign, so that you know what we're doing and how to how to utilize the reporting dashboard once that's set up. That usually happens in the first 2 to 3 weeks. And so with your first campaign that you order with us, we will set up a new onboarding session with you about 2 to 3 weeks after you've paid and submitted the form.
Gotcha. Okay.
What you'll need to get going is that information that we need in the form ahead of time. So just go to our forms, fill it out with dummy information to get all the way through, so you know what we need. Just don't submit the form at the end, but then you'll know what information we need to get from you, so you can get it from your new client to come to us and then order it. Once you order it with us, you're off to the races. Go get your next sale. Congratulations. We're going to do all the heavy lifting and work from there.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for this. Yeah, we're all gonna, as soon as we get off here, we're gonna talk as a team, see how we can integrate this into our current process, see if it makes sense. But I like the sound of it so far.
Sounds good. I'll send you a link to the recording once it's ready, and you guys have a great week.
Awesome. Thanks, Lane.
See you guys.
Thanks, Lane.
Take care. You bet. Bye-bye.